Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Aladdin remake, the Care Bear series. What is it even? Ugh! So many things to review, so little time. Why do I have to do things by the book? It's too time-consuming.
Hey there! Are you sick of having to do things by the book because it's too time-consuming?
Actually, yeah!
Then order the Deus Ex Machina button, where even the craziest bullshit can become manageable.
Shipping address, Ginger Critic. Credit card information, Cobra Critic. Death warrant, Carolot. And sent. Wow, that was quick. Smells like plot armor. Well, here goes nothing.
Come on now, that ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
That smells like Timu. What the hell?
Ta-da! Presenting Ginger Critic 2D.0. I'm your host in this new series, Ginger Critic's Retrospective. In this series, I'll be covering movies and TV shows from past decades or generations in different categories. What am I covering for this first episode, you ask? Glad you have. As you all may already know, I'm a huge TV guy, but what I really enjoy the most are cartoons. They're the one part of your childhood you could always relive. And just like our entire childhood in general, we all took it for granted. Each generation has their own special childhood shows. However, if you were like me and grew up during the 2000s, especially in Canada, you may or may not have grown up with a handful of shows that were unique, weird, yet highly underrated. While we Canadians might not have made huge hit shows like SpongeBob SquarePants or Ben 10, we have come up with quite a few good shows that weren't too bad during this certain decade. Unfortunately, because our young minds couldn't learn to appreciate them all, some of them never ended up reaching their full potential, and in some cases were even left forgotten. Well, I'm here to help you resurface some of those memories, as we dig into some of the best shows that the 2000s had to offer. Now, since I'm Canadian, I'm going to be reviewing cartoons that are distributed under one of Canada's most popular TV networks, YTV. Now, without further ado, let's unlock sections of our brain that haven't seen the light of day for at least a decade. Let's start this list off strong with a personal favorite of mine, and I'm sure it's the same for a ton of others, Martin Mystery. Based off an Italian comic book, Martin Mystery was premiered in October of 2003 before ending in 2006 after 3 seasons for a total of 66 episodes. It was distributed by Image Entertainment Corporation, also known as Marathon Media, the same people responsible for other shows like Totally Spies and Team Galaxy. It follows the adventures of Martin Mystery, his stepsister Diana Lombard, and their caveman friend Java. Yeah, that's right, a caveman, in modern society, as agents of a paranormal investigation department called the Center, who specialize in tracking down and capturing monsters or other supernatural beings, while balancing their personal lives at Torrington Academy. The head of the organization is Mom. And no, she's not actually their mother, it's just an acronym for Mystery Organization Manager. And her personal secretary, a shape-shifting alien named Billy. If you're a fan of both comedy and the paranormal, then I highly recommend this show to you. Not only does its Monster of the Week tradition keep us glued to the screen, but it's the characters and their different personalities that make the show as good as it is, especially as it goes on. Martin's immature antics and habit of messing up Mom's experiments or bad luck with women balances with Diana's serious and straight-by-the-book attitude, for the most part, being the mature one of the group. Then there's Java, the tracker and muscle of the team due to his survival instincts. However, due to him being a 200,000-year-old caveman, he mostly communicates in simplistic English.
Java no like pager. Aliens no like ice. Java what now?
We enjoy him most. Despite her not literally being what she's named, Mom still acts as a mother-like figure to the gang to make sure they stay on task. And Billy is like a little brother to the gang, always popping up at random times and helping in whichever way he can. I enjoy the brother and sister dynamic between Martin and Diana. Watching them argue and get under each other's skin like all siblings would was and still is entertaining. And watching Martin continuously ruin Mom's experiments, well, that's just a bonus. The combination of monster madness and comedy makes it seem like a spy movie mixed in with Scooby-Doo. Martin obviously being a combination of Shaggy and Fred due to being team leader, Diana being Daphne, Billy being Velma, and Java as Scooby due to his primal nature. I always remember geeking out over Martin's U-Watch and all its crazy gadgets and weapons. It was the second most sought after watch of my childhood, the first being Ben 10's Omnitrix, obviously. As said before, I highly recommend this show if you're a fan of supernatural cartoons, and if you're not, watch it anyway, or else I'll haunt you. Everyone has that one show they can really relate to. For me, or rather my counterpart, it was B and Ian. Aired from 2005 to 2008, produced by Studio B Productions and Nelvana, the show follows a 12-year-old boy named Ian Kelly who aspires to become a famous filmmaker while having to deal with the crazy shenanigans happening to him and his family. The creator, Ian James Corlett, based the show on his childhood growing up in Burnaby, British Columbia, hence the character being named after him. Just like most cartoons, it has a steady cast of characters that make up for a ton of different stories and scenarios, and I just can't get enough of them. Especially Ian's brothers, Kyle and Corey, and all the goofy antics they and the rest of the family get into. They remind me a lot about my own brother and how he always teased me as kids. This show relates to me since I too grew up wanting to become a filmmaker. I live in British Columbia and had a vivid imagination. And I still do. But if you knew what was going through my head right now, you'd either be sickened or terrified. Probably both. But back to imaginations. Ian's imagination always seemed to take over several times daily, as we see him daydreaming constantly about his life collaborating with dozens of different movies or TV shows. I can't tell you how many movie references the show has, like Indiana Jones, James Bond, Willy Wonka, and even the episode titles have famous references. My favorite episode is by far Scream Because I Know What You Did to That Psycho Last Summer. The number of horror references and vibes I get from that episode alone is enough to make me an all-time fan of the show. It's not just movie references either. It contains references to real-life stuff related to Canada as well, such as the school being named after Celine Dion, and the episode Hockey Nights in Burnaby, where they reference the Vancouver Canucks. There's even this one episode called Piano Man, where they parody the British singer Elton John and his song, Your Song. What I love most about being Ian is that I still enjoy it, even as an adult. It isn't crude, but it still has its fair share of adult humor from time to time. Out of all the cartoons made here in Canada, Being Ian is one of the few I call a huge success, having 65 episodes, 2 specials, and even a crossover event called The Big Barbecue Blowout, where Ian along with Yvonne from Ian Corlett's other show, Yvonne the Yukon, and other YTV shows got together for several back-to-back episodes. I'm glad to have grown up with this show, and it will always have a place in my counterpart's heart. And I guess mine as well. It's amazing how one changes their opinion on something the second time they've watched it, and this show did it for me. Based off of an apparel line, Ruby Gloom debuted in 2006 to 2008 for 3 seasons and a total of 40 episodes. I saw bits and pieces of it as a kid, but never showed any interest because from first glance it looked too chibi. I mean, I think we can all agree how annoying chibis can be.
I'll say!
Yeah, who the are you?
I'm Chippy Ginger Critic. Nice to meet you.
That's gonna be in my nightmares tonight. But after coming across this show again during a nostalgic internet run, I took the time to rewatch it and instantly fell in love with it. The show follows the misadventures of a ragdoll girl named Ruby and her friends in the town of Gloomsville and in their huge mansion-like house. Despite its preschool appearance, Ruby Gloom has that vibe of cheerfulness that you can't bring yourself to hate. Ever. The animation is a combination of goth and chibi, with a gloomy atmosphere, hence the name, but the tone is something cartoony and bubbly. Speaking of bubbly, let's talk about the characters, shall we? Just like the animation, Ruby and her friends carry a cute and enjoyable vibe to them which immediately melts my heart. There's nothing to hate about any of them because none of them are mean or takes advantage of anyone else. My favorite types of shows are the ones where each of the main cast has their own unique trait among everyone else. Like SpongeBob or The Land Before Time, everyone here brings something special to the screen. There's Iris, the adventurous Cyclops daredevil who's always trying some crazy stunt. Misery, just like her name suggests, the miserable maiden with the worst luck in the world. Skullboy, a skeleton who's determined to find out his roots by trying out several different hobbies or activities. Frank and Lynn, conjoined brothers who run their own rock band. Scaredy Bat, who's scared of, well, everything. Doom Kitty, the house cat who is one of the most reasonable of the group. Boo, the ghost of the establishment who always tries to scare everyone, but only succeeds with Scaredy. Then there's Poe, a raven who is the only real adult among everyone, who has a knack for philosophy and is a mentor for everyone alongside his 2 crow friends, Edgar and Alan. Yeah, you heard me. Finally, there's Ruby, the cheerful, cute as a button ringleader of the gang, always looking for ways to help. Also, her crush on Skullboy is always adorable to watch.
Oh, and the charming love interest. You forgot the charming love interest.
Aww. My favorite of these characters would have to be Misery. Not because she and her family's long string of bad luck is entertaining or anything, but it totally is. She never lets her bad luck get her down, still nice to everyone, and always remains positive. Mostly. But she might have a few major issues.
Bubonic plague?
Misery! The category is things that taste yummy!
Point being?
Sweet pizza with extra cheese on top! Who allowed her in a kid's show?
Despite it being the opposite of what it portrays, like any good kids show, it still has its fair share of grim or adult humor.
After all, everybody has skeletons in their closet. Some of them are my best friends.
Misery, we're having a brainstorm session. My room in 10 minutes.
Like I said before, I had no interest in the show at all as a kid, but quickly changed my opinion after some time. Seeing these characters solve daily problems or even throw a huge party for absolutely no reason at all always puts a smile on my face. It makes me want to go back in time and slap my counterparts past self in the face for taking it for granted when it first aired. Just like I'll do to the rest of you. I honestly didn't think a show like this could have had such an impact on my childhood, and I mean in a good way. Created by Michael Milligan, aka MCM, Robots was produced by Amberwood Entertainment in 2009 and ran for a single season before being cancelled. Now you may think because of that reason that it sucked, right? Wrong! It takes place in Flip City, a floating city inhabited by a race of bipedal orb-shaped robots called Robots, hence the name, who get around by turning into Bakugan balls and drive themselves. Despite them all living under the same floating roof, they're separated into 12 different tribes, which were all protected by 13th Lost Tribe. But that's not what we're focused on today. Our main protagonist is Spin, voiced by Sam Vincent, who joins the Flip City Police Department, which is made up of the Kazetsu tribe, and he and his friends protect Flip City from the evil spider bot Vertex and his goons. Spin is first introduced as not being part of any tribe, so he has difficulty finding a place of belonging. Similar to how I felt back in kindergarten where everyone brought a cookie for snack time, and I brought Chipotle. I really enjoy Spin as a character. He was always that adventurous cool guy with a thing for speed. Sort of like Sonic the Hedgehog, but if he was red and was a transformer. The other characters were good too. There was the big, strong and stern Captain Pounder of the police force, the medic and second in command, Penny, Wimpy by the book Lance, and Tinny, Spin's young friend and occasional sidekick. Sort of like Sonic and Tails, but in robot form. I remember watching this show every day of the week it was on and loving every single minute of it. Despite the CGI features looking a bit choppy compared to nowadays, it still worked well at the time and made the action scenes spectacular to my young child eyes. I especially love the theme music. I can imagine rocking out to it to this day. My only problem is that this is one of those shows I mentioned that never reached its full potential. And boy was there a ton of it. There was supposedly going to be 5 seasons, but unfortunately it got axed after the first due to budget cuts. Don't get me wrong, what we got was great, but there was still so much more that could have been done. My favorite episode is the finale. The endgame for the story we got is here and secrets are revealed. I remember viewing this episode for the first time and being on the edge of my seat. When both Spin and Captain Pounder faced off against Vertex, I had a freaking cheering squad going on in my head. This entire episode got me hyped for a brand new season, but then I heard that the show was canceled, and I was like, God!
Ginger Critic, you can't say that in a kid show review.
Shut up! Well, despite its cancellation, it was still a remarkable and highly underrated jewel of 2000s Canadian TV. If we can never have a reboot of this show, can we at least have a graphic novel? Come on, Mr. Milligan, we all know you want it too. And that wraps up the first episode of Ginger Critic's Retrospective. I hope you all enjoyed going down memory lane with me and these classics from up here in the Big Maple Leaf. Now I know there's still a bunch of other shows I didn't cover that you're probably looking for, but don't worry, they'll most likely make an appearance in future episodes. Just as long as you all hit that subscribe button and notification bell and leave a comment suggesting what I should cover next.
And me!
No! Because if you don't, I'll sneak into your house, steal all your bacon, and replace it with dyed spinach. I'm your host, Ginger Critic 2D.0. Till next time, YouTube.